Hello and welcome back to the Wizard's Arena, my fellow Planeswalker. We had to take Wednesday off for personal issues, so we are back with Wednesday's spoilers and Thursday's spoilers all wrapped into one here. So we're going to just dive right in and see what we have. First up's an uncommon, Clarion Spirit. It's a colorless and a white creature that's a 2/2. It's a 2/2 creature that does something. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, make a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Sold. Deal. Yeah, that sounds sweet. Any of these creatures where you just do a thing to get another creature I really like. This isn't as good as the Ravnica one, but that got a lot of play. This one doesn't have as big as backside as that one, but it's way cheaper to get out. So yeah, sold. Probably like really a 6, but I really like these things, so I would overrate it at like a 7. But probably more realistically a 6. Next up, we got, oh boy, a Google translation incoming, gang. Let's get that loose Googling. Oh, baby. Loose Googling. Okay, Radiant God of Justice. Okay. So it's a whole bunch of shenanigans. 2 and a white for a 2/3 flying vigilance. Sweet. Pretty good already, and it's got more juice on it. Snowlands that your opponent control entered the battlefield tapped. So here's the nerf card for Snowlands. So that's already a big plus, because it even hits the basic lands. And it does more. Opponents have to pay 2 more to cast non-creature spells with converted mana cost 4 or more. Woo! This is a big hate bear. It does all the silliness. And wait, what's that? It's got another side? Oh man, we're just trucking it all in. More Google translation here. 3 and a white for Redeem Shield. Whenever a source that an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control deals that much minus 1 of that damage instead. Whenever you or a permanent you control is targeted by a spell or an ability that an opponent controls, the opponent may pay 1 life. If they don't, that spell or ability is countered. Wow. So they gotta pay life to target you, and then whatever they're doing to you, if it's damage, is reduced by 1. That's really good. So we're talking anti-snow, protection for you, making bigger things that aren't creatures, a ton more mana to cast. Sure. Guys, wow. Like, just wow. I think we just have to go with, it's not going to go into all the decks, but it's going to go in some decks straight up, and it's going to go into sideboards. So yeah, it's a 9. Like, it's got lots of things going on there. So up next, wow. Up next, we have Usher of the Fallen, a white for a 2/1 Spirit Warrior. Boast of a white and a colorless. Create a 1/1 white creature, human warrior creature token. Activate this only if you attacked. So you cast on turn 1, turn 2 you attack. You don't have a creature to put on turn 2, so you make a 1/1 dude. Sure. That's fine. Next up we have Valkyrie Sword. Colorless and a white, artifact equipment, enters the battlefield, pay 4 and a white if you do, make a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilant and attach the sword to it. Otherwise, the sword falls to the ground. It's a +2/+1. And then you can equip it for 3. So not quite a living weapon. You have to pay to make the creature, but it's not a 0/0. So, yeah, that seems pretty good. I'd give this like a 6. Moving on to our next fun card. Avalanche Caller. Colors in a blue for 1/3 wizard. Snow creature. 2 target snow land you control becomes 4/4 elemental creature with hexproof and haste until end of turn. It's a land still. Yeah, sure. Kind of weird effect for blue to have. I would have thought like a green druid would have this, but I mean, I'm down with this effect. This is fine. You know, this is definitely a 7, maybe even an 8. This is a big dude with hexproof. But that's fine. Next up, we got one of the best cards from yesterday. Ascendant Spirit. Oh dear lord, look at all these words you got here. So, for 1 blue, you get a 1/1. Spend 2 snow, level it up to be a 2/3 spirit warrior. Sweet. Spend 3 snow. If this Ascendant Spirit's a warrior, put a flying counter on him and becomes a spirit warrior angel with base power and toughness of 4/4. Cool. And then when it's at that level, you spend 4 white. And if it's a spirit, is an angel, put 2 +1/+1 counter and gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to the player, draw a card. So this is more like Figure of Destiny, because you can level up whatever you want. I always really like Figure. And this ability here, you can just spam it. So like you could have this on here 3 times. So it's got 3 sets of +2/+2. So it's a 10/10. So this is a slam dunk. I like it a lot. It's a 9. In order to make it that bonkers, you have to have lots of mana, but I like it. It's really good. Figure of Destiny was really good in Standard. This will do great too. Next up, we got Cosmia, God of Voyage. 2 in a blue for 2/4 with a paragraph of text. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile Cosmos. You do gain whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. If Cosmos is exiled, you may put a Voyage counter on it. If you don't, return it to the battlefield with X +1/+1 counter and draw X, where X is the number of Voyage counters on it. Okay. And on the other side, we got a boat. A legendary boat. Colors in a blue for 3/3 crew of 1 vehicle. Whenever you deal damage to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library. And you play lands from among them for as long as they are exiled. Well, this makes it so you never miss mana drops. Pretty cool. This combined with the other side. You know, some of the other cards have been stronger, but this is pretty good still. The boat really makes it, I think. This is a 6. Let's move on to our next card. Cyclonic Summoner. 5 and 2 blue for a 7/7 giant wizard. When it ETBs, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hand, except giants, wizards, and lands. Okay, so he's like Wellman Way visit that returns everything but krakens and serpents and merfolk. But he's on a 7/7 body. Okay. But it's a little expensive. There are things that make giants cheaper. Wizards will be the next set we're getting. So it's just a 5. It's really highly priced. It's a good effect, but it's a lot of mana. You'd be using it to close out games if they went really late. Then you probably need one to keep 2 mana up to battle to get it through. Mystic Reflection, a colorless and a blue instant. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature. That can't be right the way they worded it there, because they put planeswalkers on there, but they don't say they actually make copies of planeswalkers. So weird. Oh, I get what it says. Okay. You choose a target. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalker enters the battlefield, this turn they enter as copies of the target. So you can have a walker enter, then the walker becomes like a Lana Royal, for example, and then afterwards at the end of turn it goes back. Or just stay that way. They just stay that way, it sounds like. Which is pretty sweet, because then you can target one of their chintzy things on board. Because it doesn't have to be a creature you control. So yeah. A little confusing here. Had to read a couple times, but hey, this sounds sweet. You make all the big stuff enter as little stuff for the rest of the turn. Yes, please. It's more of a surprise trick that will work once. With Foretell, it's only a blue. Yeah. Next up, we have Dragoo's Helm. Colorless and a black. Enters the battlefield. You may pay 2 and a black. Create a 2/2 black zombie berserker. Creature token, then attach the helm to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and menace. Equip of 4. Okay, I'm betting we're getting a cycle of these. I like this one too. It's pretty good. It's like a 7. Because it only costs 3, not 5 to do it. But the 5 is still 4/4 and this is a 2/2. Next up, we got Poison the Cup. Colorless and a black. Destroy target creature. If this spell was foretold, scry 2. So it costs the same as Murder does, except it has an upside. Murder's fine. I wish you could spend 1 more and hit planeswalkers, but you can't have everything. It's just fine. We got so much removal in standard right now, I might not see play, but it's pretty good. I'll give it a 7. Actually, we're going to be a little harder on the grade, a 6. Just since we have so much good removal right now, that's why. Next up, the Avenger. Colorless and a black for a 3/1 elf berserker. Whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, you draw a card and lose a life. Yep, we know black or black-green will have an elf deck. They're coming out with a theme. Commander deck. Really good. Like it. Ship it. 7. Good. Actually. Yeah, 7, 7.5. It's because you can draw a card. And it's a 3/1 body. Furious Liberator. Colorless and a red for 2/1. Boast of 2 and a red. Create a 2/1 red dwarf berserker creature token if it attacks. I just don't know about Boast. Yeah, the guys have to attack, but it just seems like the mana cost is kind of high. It's good. Higher below the mana. I mean, it's okay. I mean, this one just seems like it's really highly costed, so it's a 4. Next up. Oh boy. You know what's next up? Google Translate. Oh goodness. Where did that silly thing go? Taunt the Trolls. 3 and a red instant. Taunt the Troll deals 3 damage to any target. If a creature is dealt damage this way, it gets +5/+0 until the end of turn. It's a really weird pump spell. It's alright. I think we have to only give it a 4 though, because the thing has to live through it. Like, it's a good pump on a giant, but it's a lot of mana. I think it's a mana plus a pseudo removal card. Next up, we have Tundra Femoral. Two red and a colorless, no sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature, planeswalker. Add a colorless for each snow you spend to cast a spell until end of turn. You don't lose mana as steps and phases end. So you can get this for free and end up with 3 colors in your mana pool. So you can shoot something for 4 and cast another spell this turn. Sure, I like it. Sounds great to me. Probably like a 7.5. Yep. Moving on. Next up, we have a Google translation incoming. This took a long time. I had to read it a couple times, I admit. It's a little bit confusing. Because it's fair. In Search of Greatness. 2 green enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may cast a permanent spell from your hand with mana cost equal to 1 plus the highest CMC among costs you control of other permanents. You can't count this without paying its mana cost. If you can't do it, scry 1. So I have this in play, you can't do anything. If I have Elder Gantruan, if it costs 6, then I can put it in play. If it doesn't cost 6, If I have something that costs 5 or something that costs 4, you can't do anything. You gotta scry 1. It's gotta be exactly whatever the biggest thing is plus 1. So, after all that is said and done and confusion aside, this thing, they balanced it. They made sure you gotta have the right cards in hand, but you get to scry which green needs. This is a 9. It is banana sandwich. Like, if you get 2 out, then it counts the other one, so you can do a 3. And it'll be interesting together. You do the interaction for the checks, but I'm pretty sure you only have to do the check once, so you only get to put 1 3 cost in, and that's it. And that's the thing. Like I said, if you got something that costs 4, like Threat Dynamo, and you just can't go, oh well, I got another thing in my hand, but it costs 4. Well, you can't put it in. You gotta have something that costs 5. So it's very specific. That's why it's not like Birth and Pod in like a 12 or something like that. Just totally broken. Next up, we have Nico Defies Destiny. Colors a white and a blue. We got a lot of sagas today. You gain 2 life for each foretold card you own in exile. Okay, this could be like 4 or 6 life for 3 mana. That's okay. Add a white and a blue. Spend this mana and only take foretell cards or cast spells that have foretell. Okay, that's pretty good. Those foretell needs more stuff to synergize it because it's coming in late to the party of Magic the Gathering. And then 3, return target card with foretell from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, and it's got a regrow effect on it, white and blue. Uncommon? Yeah. A lot of the white-blue stuff we've seen works with foretell, make it cheaper, let you do extra things. It's an 8. Approve. Like, I don't even really care about the life gain. Next up, Battle for Bortega. A colorless, a green, and a white. Create a 1/1 white human warrior creature token. Step 2, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. 3, choose any number of artifact tokens and or creature tokens you control with different names. For each of them, create a token that's a copy of it. Well, that's a thing. This is a crazy saga. I feel like this is like an 8. Because you get to double your board's power. Like, if you just have what's here, it's 1, 2, 4 power. And if you can pump your team, go wide. If you have Vorin Clerks in play, yeah, sold. Sign me up. Next up, Battle of Frost and Fire. Sounds like it's a giant thing. 3, a blue and a red. Deals 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Well, okay. Step 2, scry 3. Well, sure. 3, whenever you cast a spell with CMC 5 or greater this turn, draw 2 cards and discard a card. The third part, I'm not sure how good it is, but part 1, part 2, I'm good with that. And it's a rare, so we'll give it a 6, because the issue is yeah, a lot of giants are 5 or greater, but you're not going to cast a lot of them. Like, you could probably cast 1 of them, maybe 2 of them. Really doubt it. So, yeah, just a 6. Next up, we're going to go on to another sweet saga, I betcha. We seem to have been getting a lot of sweet sagas. Colors, double white and a black. Create a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilant. Sweet. Step 2. Until end of turn, angels you control gain tap, destroy target creature with power less than that creature's power. What? Step 3. Angels you control gain double strike. Well, geez, this thing is ridiculous. Like, this is a bomb of an 8, maybe even a 9. It's just bananas. You get to, like, buff your team. There seems to be a lot of good angels in this set. And then you just get to fly over with all the double strikes, and because you murdered their team last turn, or a lot of their blockers. So, yeah, they need to draw a board wipe or die after turn 2 happened to them. Next up, goodness, white, green, blue saga. Oh noes. The bears of Litijar, colors green and a blue. Create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter token with changeling. 2. Any number of target shapeshifters you control have base power 4/4. Sweet. Step 3. Choose up to one target creature or planeswalker. Each creature with power 4 or greater you control deals damage equal to its power to that permanent. Okay, so you just nuke a big thing. Not as good as the one we just saw, but this is pretty good. I would say probably like a 7. You know, the last one was like an 8, 9. Yeah, this is pretty close. Next up, we got special crazy art creatures. We got a legendary giant wizard. Okay, so here's the blue-red legendary. Uncommon. Colors a blue and a red for a 3/3. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent control is dealt excess damage, if a giant wizard or spell you control dealt damage to it this turn, draw. So some kind of weird giant deck or giant spellslinger deck combo thing, or wizard spellslinger deck. Yeah, sign me up. Seems like a fun little commander. He's a 7. Nice to build around. Not totally broken, but that's what you'll get with these uncommon legends. Very reminiscent of Commander Legends, uncommon legends. Blue and a black. Neferi Betrayer King. Oh baby. 4/3 of the snow and zombie creatures you control get +1/+1. And you can spend 3, return them back. We've already seen this one, but I threw him in here to just show you off the beautiful new art you get for showcase. Next up, we have the Rune Crowned. I feel like it should be a blah 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 or something. 3. When it enters the battlefield, you search the library, hand, and a graveyard for a rune card and put it onto the battlefield attached to the crown. You search the library, shuffle. Enchanted creature, equipped creature gets +1/+1 equipped for 2. Well, we've only seen like 1 or 2 runes, so you know, sounds great. Probably won't be terrible. So I'm going to give it a 6. Next up, we got Gates of Estelle. Okay, these lands, it looks like we're getting 10. Because we have some allied colors and enemy colors already. Kind come in the battlefield tab, tap for a white. And then you spend 2 a white and 2 blues, sacrifice it, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. Sure. I think this one will get used in Commander. An uncountable land effect, like 7. I think these are all going to be 7s. Next up, we're going to have to Google Translate this one, guys. Google Translate, come on down. And just tapped, of course. Tap to add a blue to your mana pool. Spend 3 a blue and 2 black. Sack it. Mill 4 cards. And then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Okay. That's pretty good. So 7. This one actually, it would probably be higher because it's such a good effect. Like an 8. Next up, we have the red-green effect. And to tap, get a red. Sack it. Get a 4/4 Troll Warrior creature token with trample. And you also get to destroy a land they control. Sure. This might even see... all these activations are really high, which is good. But yeah, this is totally a 7 also. I really like it. Next up, we got a blue-red version. Oh, baby. I'm going to bust out Google Translate some more. And just tapped, of course. Taps to add red to your mana pool. Spend 2 blue, 2 red, sack it. Scry 2, deals 2 damage to each creature. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Okay. This one I actually will downgrade to like a 5 because it doesn't have a commander. The commander uses are just kind of weak, but you know, it's still pretty solid in draft. Next up, we got black-green. Enter, of course, tapped to add a green, black, two black and a green. Sack it to 1 creature you don't control gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Create 2 green elf warrior creature tokens that are 1/1s. Activate as a sorcery only. Okay, sure. Remove a thing, make some dudes. 7 again. Fine. Sure. Sign me up. And next up, we have the red-white one. Yamari enters battlefield tap. Tap for a white. Spend a colorless. 2 red and a white. Sack it. Search your library for an aura card or an equipment card. 2 cards. Wow. And put them in the hand. Yeah, this is a 7 because this is what Boris has been doing lately. Artifacts and equipment. I mean, auras and equipment. So that's pretty good. And that brings us to the end of day 7 and 8 spoilers. My name's been Draymore with the Wizards Arena. Please like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Facebook. Put your comments below. You guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you in the next video.